Support for Jacked Ramsays is brought to you by Manscaped. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped just launched their 4th-generation trimmer, the Lawnmower 4.0. You heard that right, the 4.0. Join over 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped. With this exclusive offer for you, 20% off, free worldwide shipping with a code JACKED20 at manscaped.com. Again, that's JACKED20 at manscaped.com. And why go with Manscaped? Well, Manscaped engineered the ultimate groin and body trimmer by focusing on intelligent functionality and an incredibly comfortable grooming experience. Their 4th-generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. I now feel confident shaving my boys. So remember, get 20% off and free shipping with a code JACKED20. That's JACKED20 at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use the code JACKED20. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. What's going on, everybody? Welcome into this episode of Jacked Ramsays. I'm your host, Danny Marang, joined as always by Brandon Sprague. But, well, we're really not that important because today we've got young Ant Simons. Anfernee Simons is joining us heading into training camp. Ant, thanks for coming in, man.
I appreciate you having me, sir.
Oh, sir now. Okay. Wow. Listen, he gets into his 20s, he gets to 21, 22, and all of a sudden he goes to sir. Okay. All right. We won't go any further than that. You guys have mandatory training camp. The official start of the season starting here next Tuesday. Right now, everybody's back in town, heading out at a local high school, getting some workouts in, a little camaraderie, a little team building. What's it like to have a little bit of normalcy to start an 82-game season again?
It's kind of a weird feeling now because like we've been for the past year and a half now. At least towards like when they stopped the season, 2 years ago. Everything's feels like back normal, like in terms of like, just coming in, working out, not having to do COVID tests every day, not having to have split baskets and stuff like that. So, it's pretty cool coming in every day, acting like it's a normal day, from, 2 years ago.
And we've seen a lot of pictures of you guys playing football with your workouts. I'm curious, how do you power rank who truly is the worst football player on the team, and then who would be like the top 3 of the team?
Obviously, like the guys that are from overseas aren't going to be good at football.
Hint, hint.
He's not naming names, but he's naming names.
But it depends on like. I don't know. It's kind of hard. I mean, you can tell by just how they throw football. If it's it's a little unorthodox, it's kind of awkward. It just some guys are just better athletes, I guess.
Well, I heard that you can really sling the rock. You're confident in your ability. So I'm curious, how many yards do you think you could bomb it? Because I'm really interested to hear this number. I'm wondering if I could beat you
On a good day?
On a good day, like it's a great throw. You got a good step into it. You're launching it. How far do you think the rock's going?
On a good day, I think I can get 60.
60?
Woo!
Yeah. I think I can beat you.
All right, Tannehill.
60 yards is impressive.
That's a see. You and I have talked about this. We're gonna have to make this happen because I'm off the crutches. I can walk now. You got to give me a little bit of time to walk to the other end of the field. But we got to get a tape on this because 60s. I'm not saying I don't believe you, but
50 to 60.
Okay.
50 to 60.
I'm just saying I did send you a picture, and I was like, see, this is why I don't trust professional athletes.
Oh no.
Luckily, I know my limits.
Okay.
So if I know I can't do something for sure, like I'm not gonna be acting like I'm the best soccer player ever when I never touched a soccer ball like that.
And you are Florida man, so I mean that kind of comes with it, right?
Well, at least when you're from Florida.
Did you play football when you were growing up?
I did not.
Oh, okay. Did you try and somebody stopped you?
Yeah. I used to play like 7-on-7 and stuff with the football team in high school. Yeah. But that's as far as my mom would let me go.
All right. So you and I talked a couple years ago about how when you came in the league, you were about 6'3" and you had a little bit of a growth spurt. And then somebody had asked me, like, did Ant grow? This is a dumb thing, because I had to ask Greg this the other day, because his combine has him, I think, at like 6'7.5", and he says he's 6'9". How tall are you now?
I don't know. So I guess there's been a rumor going out that, you know, I've grown a little taller.
Mm-hmm.
2 inches, I heard, Ant. 2 inches.
So, yeah, like I joined this. Obviously, I was looking for fantasy leagues, and I joined this, you know, fantasy team full of, like, you know, Blazers fans.
Mm-hmm.
Keep asking me, like, is it true that you've grown a couple inches? I'm like, I haven't even measured myself. So, yeah, we got to figure that out. I don't know. I guess we can figure it out tomorrow.
We got to get the actual tape out and get that figured out. Now, we got a bunch of listener questions. The first one is going to, I mean, we'll get the slam dunk stuff out of the way right away, because Greg Brown says he wants to know who's got the most bounce on the team. Now, last year you guys had a little competition to see who could get up there between you, Derek, Nas, a couple other guys got involved. But this is kind of the lead-in. This is from Matt Eminem. Were you at any point actually considering kissing the rim in the dunk contest? If so, did somebody talk you out of it?
Oh yeah, I planned on getting way closer than I did in the dunk contest. So actually, like, when the person that was dunking before me, I don't know who it was, might have been Cash or Obi, but I actually on the side I tried on a mouth guard, but it was like too big. Like I couldn't like close my mouth. So I completely scratched it and was like, I'm just gonna try to get close as I can. So I did that last minute.
Danny, let's commend him. He chose a very smart decision. Could you imagine, Ant, having the picture you have now versus the picture with a mouth guard? You're like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like your mouth's forced open. It doesn't look good.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Because you did. It was great because you got the right up there, just like right at the rim. I mean, it was. That's the nice thing about having those cameras right at the rim, man. It worked out. So, number one, are we going to have a in-camp contest to settle this before the season?
In camp?
Because Greg said he was ready.
One day I'll do it.
You got the trophy. He's on your time right now.
Yeah.
He's got to come to you, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's now officially the young guy on the team too. So, I mean,
got to make him work for it.
Yeah, in that way, I guess. I mean, but obviously Greg has insane bounce, especially for his height. So,
yeah,
that's gonna be a tough one. I mean, yes, yeah, he's even at his height, like it looks good while he's in the air. It's not like one of those tall guys that can, you know, do some tricks and stuff. So
now you were in the arena for the East Bay, right? Or had you not? You got there like a day later or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When you saw that, what was your reaction?
Oh, I knew that was coming.
Oh, you knew that was coming?
He was doing that AAU games. Like it was impressive. Caught it and did it automatically, but he's been doing that since AAU, like easily going down,
insane,
doing 20-leg dunks.
Absolutely.
So but in a game is insane.
Yeah, in game that's bonkers. So yeah. I'm halfway put you on the spot here. Have you decided whether or not you're going to defend your dunk contest crown this year?
I mean, yeah, if I get invited again, I'll most likely do it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Have we had a champ not invited?
Yeah. I'm not sure.
I think that's kind of like an automatic. Like you get your chance to say no, right? Because Zach's been brought back, AG's been brought back. They asked Derek to come back. Like I'm pretty certain that that's like an automatic invite for you, man. You got to get in the lab and figure it out. You got to come up with something new.
Yeah, my trainer Phil once he's like, you don't need to do the dunk contest anymore. I want you to win a 3-point contest. That's gonna really make me proud. So, and nobody's ever done that before too. So that'll be pretty cool as well.
Yeah, Dame's the only one that's competed in every event. I believe. I don't think anybody else has done that yet.
It was his first year, right?
Yep.
Or second?
Yeah.
Second year because he didn't get in until the second year. Yeah. So, but he hit everything. That's a busy weekend, man.
Yeah.
Speaking of off season, everybody wants to know what this off season has kind of meant to you, what you've been working on. So take us from the end of the Denver series till now. What has Anfernee Simons been working on? What are you looking forward to kind of showing or showcasing heading into this next season?
Just, basically playmaking, obviously, and, getting to the rim more often. And obviously, keeping my, my 3-point where it's at. One of my goals is to shoot, above what I shot last year. So I want to make sure, that goes there first of all, because, there's nothing better than, a shooter on the court as well, too, and at a high efficiency. So obviously playmaking, I think this year is going to be great for him because, I think Chauncey's going to give me a lot more freedom to step out there and do more than obviously what I did last year as well. So I think it's a real good opportunity for me to showcase everything that I can do. And I'm just excited for the season, to get started, because it's a fresh start. It's always fun to have new teammates, learn new plays, learn new people, especially all the coaching staff, and get a feel for them. So I'm excited.
And how big was, you're kind of a natural playmaker, so that's a skill set you've always just had. How big was it for you confidence wise? You kind of became a catch and shoot guy. Your percentage was through the roof. Like, how big was that for your development and where you're at right now?
Oh, it was really big. I think just last year is where I finally felt good about my shooting a three as well, because I think coming to the league, I'm just used to like the high school 3-point line coming to the league. So it took me a while to like really get used to shooting that far. And I think first year, like, I was going every day and it felt easy to shoot the 3 ball. So I think it showed when I started playing the game, where it almost kind of felt like I was just almost hunting threes in general, but cause like I just felt so comfortable shooting them. That's all of the shots that me personally wanted to take.
Your shot volume, your shot diet last year was very, very heavy on threes. And you talk about like wanting to get to the rim more often. When you're in game and you're going to have a different, when you're out there with that second unit, you're going to have guys that are probably a little bit more active, a little bit more mobile. You've got a Larry Nance Jr. to kind of grease the offense. Where you fall in the pecking order is probably elevated now. You had some veterans in Carmelo Anthony and Enes Kanter who have had shot diets their entire career that kind of dictated that they be up the pecking order. With those guys moving on, and with now you moving up, that means your shot diet probably has to change. You've got to be more than the catch and shoot guy that you've shown, and you were top in the league. I mean, it was, to be honest, it was you, Tony, and Joe Harris. So you've got basically 2 of the best catch and shoot 3-point guys on the team. That opens up the floor for you. So when you're working in the offseason, what is it specifically that you're working on to attack those closeouts, to get downhill, to finish more consistently right hand, left hand? Is it footwork? Is it timing? What are the things specifically that you kind of work through each day?
Yeah, it's basically like kind of putting yourself in position of, you being out there on the court that next year, especially this year. So I put myself in a position where I'm the guy that's supposed to get everybody their shots, supposed to get everybody going in general, because there's nobody out there that, is kind of in my position, sort of. Maybe like, obviously we got CJ and Norman and Dame, but, if one of those 2 is out, then it's kind of, my responsibility to do that. And so, even the past couple of weeks, like, the coaching staff has been, pushing me to become more vocal, be more intentional in everything I do, which has been great because, that's the thing that I voiced to them that I wanted to be. And then, they've been challenging me each and every day to become that and to get better at that. So, I'm just, grateful. They see a lot in me, and, they're pushing me to become great. And they see, that I can be, a pretty good basketball player.
This is your first new coaching situation where you go from one guy to another guy. Just kind of curious. I know it's early and camp starts next Tuesday, but I'm just kind of curious, Ant, what jumps out that's different, what Chauncey's doing, or Chauncey kind of gives you advice? Like what's different about Chauncey from Terry?
Obviously, it's a difference because I never really Terry was only my only coach in the league. So, coming here and, going to the gym and seeing like all new faces, it was kind of crazy to me, but it was kind of cool because it's a fresh start and you're able to gain a new relationship with a player, you know, arguably a Hall of Fame point guard, and that's somebody that's coaching you and teaching you. So all you want to do is just learn from them and, have the opportunity to be coached by him. So I think it's going to be great for us to have somebody like him to coach us and teach us everything he's learned because he's won a championship as well. So, I think he's going to be great for us. He understands a player's mindset to the fullest. He's been in every situation as a player. Where he's not playing, so he can understand everybody's viewpoints from the bottom of the roster to the top. So I think he's going to be great for us just in general as a person to relate to and kind of understand what we go through from day to day.
You kind of mentioned obviously Chauncey's background as a player and his growth throughout his career. This is a question from, hilariously, has the same name as me, at Daniel Paul 12. How have you trained to be a ball distributor versus a shooter scorer? I'm going to take that a step further. Have you talked to Chauncey about what it's like to be a floor general, to be a leader, to be that guy that sets the table for everything else, kind of for that second unit?
Yeah, he said he pretty much explains every situation to me if I have a question or he sees something. Essentially, he kind of simplifies it for me. Like, we want you to do what you do best, essentially. But he's kind of teaching me which ways to kind of implement everybody else and within doing what you do best as well. So he said it's really not no rocket science to it. He doesn't want me to go out there and, try to get 10 assists a game and stuff like that and do some stuff that's not, to my strength. So he basically preached to me, do what you do. And we're going to teach you, we're going to have a lot of conversations. We're going to teach you, how to implement that in running the team. So, we've always had, great conversations about that with everybody on the coaching staff.
Well, and it feels like such a big year, Ant, because of your position that you're in right now and how you work with the second unit. I saw the picture with you and Dame working out. I'm just kind of curious. I know you've been around Dame for so long now and you're practicing with him. Any different kind of conversations this offseason working together about, hey, man, new role, like expectations, stuff like that? Like, what was that like working with Dame this offseason, knowing how big a year this was for you?
No, of course, he knows it's a big year for me as well. And, he just teaches me, like, it's time right here. It's no perfect situation right now. A fresh start, a new coach, like new coaching staff, new everybody. So this is the time to kind of prove yourself to them. And then once you get the opportunity, because he understands how good I am. So, how good I can be as well. So I think, having him in my corner, like I said, always said, it's always been great because he's always, pushed me to heights that I couldn't even realize that I could get to it, especially as a cerebral player as well. So I think, him, just basically being in my corner is what propels me as well to become better.
You've talked about like what you're good at right now. And when we sit back and we watch you, you're a great catch and shoot player. You can get your shot off anywhere. You're a natural shot creator. But this is a question I think that I've seen asked a lot as far as like questions that were put in. This is from Harry. He says, what's the skill that you want to improve the most this offseason going into this year? What is the thing that you look at your game right now and you say, I'm here, I want to get to there, and this is how I'm going to do it?
Yeah, like I said, I've been working on this offseason finishing. I was never really the guy that, is a bulldog that gets to the rim. Even when I was growing up, I always, kind of went to jumpers and floaters and stuff like that. So basically kind of forcing myself, just to attack the rim, even like when we were playing pickup and stuff this past couple of weeks, I've been trying to, kind of force myself to see those plays because I already know I can score. So I'm gonna do everything I can to see the passing play, everything I can to get to the rim, no matter like what the situation is. Obviously, if I have the jump shot, I'm gonna take it, but getting to the rim is probably the thing that I most want to emphasize, and obviously defense as well. Getting back to to where I was at the end of the season, being locked in defensively. So I think those are the three things.
Do you feel like that's an area, Ant? Because Chauncey's brought up defense a couple of times. Neil brought it up. Obviously, it was a point of emphasis last year, and you guys weren't able to maybe fare as well. Do you feel like that's an underrated part of your game that you may be able to show us this year? Is you're one of those valuable defenders that can really help this team take the jump from near the bottom to the mid to the top tier of defensive teams this year? Do you feel like that's a quality that maybe people haven't recognized enough in you?
Yeah, for sure. Like the coach that would tell me all the time, and I believe in myself, like, I have good feet. I can move well. I'm athletic. I have long arms. Like, there's no reason why I shouldn't be, an exceptional defender. At least, at most, be a good defender. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I think, taking that step forward and being very, initiate me wanting to be that great defender, and the coaches being on me about it is one of those things that I want to do and I want to be.
You mentioned that second half of the season, and this kind of gets lost because of the way the season ended, unfortunately. You did show tremendous growth defensively. To be honest, the first probably third of the season was subpar for you defensively, and the assistant coaches at the time had mentioned that as well. What changed? What was it that post All-Star break, because you looked like a better defender on pretty much every level. You didn't get lost. You didn't die on screens. You were much more active in passing lanes. Was it did things slow down? Was it watching tape? What was it that switch flip? Because there was a marked growth, much like what we saw with Gary the year before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was just, people ask me that all the time. Like, some people ask me about it, but I honestly, like, it was just a switch, honestly. Like you said, it was like I kind of understood exactly what the defense wanted to do just by understanding offense in general. Because, like, you know what I mean? If somebody driving a baseline, I automatically, in my head, I would be thinking as a offensive player, okay, somebody's has to drift to the corner. So as a defender, I'm looking at, like, okay, the dude's going to drift to the corner, so I'm going to bait him to drift to the corner, and that's when I end up getting steals and kind of playing a cat and mouse game with the person has the ball if I'm off ball and stuff like that. And all ball, it's a lot of his experience as well. And, like, these guys are great screeners. It takes a minute for a lot of people to understand, like, the way of getting around the screen or waiting to maneuver your body to get around one. So, I like when the coaching staff last year, they helped me out with that a lot. And they basically taught me, like, this is what you need to do to get on the court. And I had to, figure it out and figure out which ways I can, be able to get into the game.
What kind of things have you learned? You're going into year 4, and I'd imagine there was a transition going from the IMG to the NBA. We're like, oh, everybody's as good as me or better. Like, what have you learned now? You're going into year 4. What has the NBA taught Anfernee Simons as a basketball player?
It has taught me, man, I've learned a lot. Like, some things I think about when what people do is still mind-boggling to me, how cerebral every player is, especially the good ones. Like, like crazy stuff they're thinking about. Like, they're running a play to make sure this guy gets in help weak side so you can swing the ball across. So because we know this guy is the weakest defender. So if he's on close out the whole game, then we know we have a good chance of getting good shots each and every time. Stuff like that it's pretty crazy to think about in the midst of a game, because I'm just coming from IMG. I'm used to be just going out there playing naturally. And everybody in the NBA is very good naturally too as well. So you just look for things that separate each other, and that's what the good players do. They think everything 2 steps ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's chess. It really is chess. Like, they're running a play, but they're already thinking about the second or third pass or the second or third possession. Like, that's crazy. You always hear the expression, it's like playing chess, but then you hear it from guys like you, and it's just nuts to think about it.
Yeah, it's real. Like even when I'm out there, like, playing pickup, and I'm thinking about things like trying to be intentional of being vocal out there with people, And you really have to think about like, okay, this is the time right now to do this. Be aggressive right now. And then 2 or 3 plays, you be aggressive. Maybe you score. Maybe you go again, try to be aggressive again. If you don't, try to get somebody else involved. Okay, what did this guy do well? What do I need to put this guy in a position to be his best self as well? Maybe it's a double screen down for Norman so he can get downhill, because that's where he's at his best, is when he's getting downhill. He's being aggressive. So, and thinking about like who's backside in the midst of all that. So it's like, it's almost like your brain is hurting.
I was going to say, you have this look on your face like you're already thinking back to your second or rookie year where you had a moment, you're like, what the hell? They thought of that? Like, I get to see it operating that way. So, like,
it's almost something that you got to do every day until it gets natural. So, like I've been working on that a lot. And like I said, like it makes your brain like kind of go crazy when you're thinking about it.
Taking that to the next level, this is something that I think gets lost often, the difference between regular season basketball and playoff basketball. When that scouting report changes from, this big to this big. Cerebrally, what does that do for you going into year 4, where you've got a team right now that you're loading up and you're looking to rebound off of last season's performance? You've got to handle business before you get there. But when you get there, how different of a game is it in the playoffs from the regular season?
It's obviously it's much different. But it's it's more exciting because you got this one team that you're focused on. It's not like, you're on a back-to-back and you got to focus on this team, focus on another team. It's like one team, and you obviously got to match up with one person, and you just studying that one guy, and you're going at it for, possibly 7 games. So it's fun. It's like, a lot of people say like this where the fun starts. Like, it's real. Like it's very fun to be in the midst of that, in the most competitive atmosphere right at that moment. And, because, a lot of guys just, a switch goes on for a lot of, most guys as soon as the playoffs start. So you can see it, and you can feel, the intensity of the game and how much more locked in guys are.
You got Dennis Smith Jr., you got Quinn Cook coming in fighting for roster spots. You got a bunch of other new guys coming in from the bench unit. I'm just curious. You also have a decent amount of returning players. Is this the most competitive you think camp has been in your tenure in Portland? A lot of people kind of pushing each other, guys fighting for jobs, and also how beneficial you think that could be for you guys this year?
I think it's gonna be good. I think this is probably the most competitive, if not one of them, for sure. Just getting a whole bunch of guys that's been there before, been in every possible situation possible where they was playing, they wasn't playing. Now some people are fighting for roster spots. So I think it's going to make the camp competitive on all spectrums of, guys are going to be going at each other and, just fighting. And it's going to make camp that much more fun.
Speaking of camp, you got a couple new guys in with varying skill sets. You've got Tony Snell, obviously a catch and shoot guy coming out of Atlanta, the trade acquisition for Larry Nance Jr., and Cody Zeller. What have you seen just kind of playing pickup with those guys and getting involved that, it makes you think, oh, we can do this, I can do this, as far as like how that's going to integrate into your game? Because to be honest, those guys are all slated, at least depth chart-wise, to be on that second unit with you.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we have a lot of, communication about what we like and, trying kind of getting a feel for each other, but like, Cody's a very smart player, just been playing with him, very good teammate. He's a great guy, honestly. Like he's a good dude. And Larry as well, like he's always talking to me like, you're gonna be open, and he's gonna be setting good screens, and we're gonna be working together a lot. So kind of just gaining that chemistry with each other and kind of understanding what, it's great to know that they understand what they're there for and what they need to do in order for us to win. So it makes everything that much easier to kind of gauge throughout the season, what we need to do and what we need to do better.
You guys had COVID obviously shut the season down. Then you get back, you do the bubble. The season starts a couple months later. you have a 10-game less schedule, but everything's kind of condensed and it's quick and it's move to the next game. Did it feel like a real offseason for you? Because it feels like this might be a 2-year type process that people don't think enough about. Is these off seasons have been kind of odd. Has this one felt more normal? Does this feel like more normal to you, where the body clock is like, hey, it's September, it's October, it's time to get back into basketball? How's that whole thing been, just kind of condensing everything together since COVID hit?
I mean, people say like it's been a short off season, but it kind of didn't really feel like it, honestly. It felt like it was about normal than what it was. Obviously, we had like summer league in August, but I think everything has been pretty much normal. And honestly, I was able to get the proper rest, get the proper training. So I kind of, set my schedule up for my summer to be very productive and kind of getting ready for this year.
How weird was last year for you guys?
Just in general, like the whole season?
Just kind of, you guys did the testing stuff and no fans, and then some fans at the end, the schedule, all that. It
was weird at first seeing no fans, but we kind of got used to it very quickly. We had like the testing stuff got repetitive, so we were kind of used to it by then, and everything really just got normalized. But I think this year it's gonna be weird, because we haven't seen like full fans, like to where it's like courtside seats and all that stuff. It's gonna be weird. You haven't seen it in like a year and a half, 2 years.
When you look at the way this season is going, what for you, your personal goals and expectations, what do those look like as you're getting ready to start the season?
First of all, like one of my goals is particularly in training camp is to basically separate myself from anybody that's like competing with me as well. So I want to take that step forward and be into that conversation of being that guy. So that's a personal goal for me.
Does being that guy entail like a sixth man of the year kind of a deal, or what are we talking?
Yeah, if I'm sixth man, then most improved. That type of stuff is obviously it should be anybody's goal in general to have that type of accolades as well. And just obviously, like I said, I want to shoot more than 42%. I shot 42 last year, 41.9, something like that, right? I want to shoot like maybe 44, 45. I think that'll be very big for me. So those are kind of like the personal goals, and obviously go farther in the playoffs and compete for a championship this year is the main goal, for me and as a team.
Yeah, the West was interesting. Like, you had some teams make real movement. Like the Lakers are an entirely different group. They just got AD LeBron. You got a lot of teams coming back. Utah bringing it back. You got Denver, who's missing Murray, but they're bringing their group back. How have you viewed like kind of what the West has done this offseason, and how you guys kind of stack up against all these teams?
I mean, obviously you got a lot of people moving around. That feels like a normal year in the West.
West has never been weak since you've been in the league, so
it's always been competitive each and every game. So, what I mean, it's just every night's gonna be a dogfight again. But I think we stack up well. We have a very good roster. A lot of guys that do a lot of things very well. I think a lot of guys are just gonna do their job, and we're gonna be successful in that way because we got guys that can do each and everything. So. I think once we mesh together well and we start getting the training camp and game that chemistry, I think it's gonna be another great season.
Well, I want to get a couple rapid fire questions before we get you out of here. This from Derek Conrad, Derek C_99. What's your best story from Dame's wedding?
Best story?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, man, that was a fun wedding.
It looked like it.
Yeah, it was a very fun wedding. I think weddings, honestly, but yeah, it was a fun night. I mean, obviously you got people performing. You got Snoop Dogg coming in. That was pretty cool.
Did you know all the acts were going to be there ahead of time?
I knew Snoop Dogg was going to be there.
Okay.
Somebody maybe 2 hours before he came out.
Hey, Danny, this is a veteran answer by a young guy.
Uh-huh.
This is a guy that knows not to expose too much information about a super private event. He's like, hey, Snoop Dogg was there.
Yeah. It made the cameras. It was on the reel. We're good to go here. All right. This is from Nibble at Nibble _ 2x2. What's your favorite food in Portland?
Favorite food?
Yeah, here in Portland.
Man, I live in Lake Oswego, so there's really nothing like crazy close. I've been to a couple places around here. They've been pretty good. I don't really remember the names though. They have like
another veteran move, keeping the sponsorship opportunities open. I really don't
remember, but it's a couple places around here. But I want to go to that. My friend Eli here was telling me to go to this wing spot. I forgot what it was. You probably know it. It's probably they asked what's the best wing spot out here, and I forgot what it was called.
I don't know. I got to look it up now because if it's on that side
Fire
of
on the
town,
Mountain? Is it Fire on the Mountain?
Yeah, Fire on the Mountain.
Oh, okay.
Fire on the Mountain. Yeah, it's a good spot.
Yeah,
it's a good spot.
See, I always think of the one down on. Is it Mississippi? I think that's. I always forget there's one on the other side of town now. So.
Oh yeah, there is one on Mississippi.
Yeah, I always forget there's one down there now. So, there was another question in here. You and I have talked about this over the years. This is from Julio Cantu. What are your thoughts on being an NBA athlete on social media? As a tool, do you feel empowered by it? As entertainment, is it still fun? And as a platform, any interest in growing it or using it more going forward?
Does he mean like, okay, so like as an athlete being on social media?
Yeah. I think your holistic view of social media in general, and as a tool and as a vessel to kind of go back and forth.
I mean, me personally, like particularly like maybe Instagram. I like Instagram. I'm a big Instagram guy, but you know what I mean? I just post some pictures whenever I kind of feel like it, or like, well, it's a good picture, I'll post it. But like, Twitter is my thing, so I have fun on it. So I like to just look at Twitter and like watch funny stuff. But that's what everything means. Obviously, you can make a lot of money off, social media and having that social media platform. And that's kind of the one thing I'm trying to get better at, is being more active. So
I thought you were going to say you were trying to be better at making more money. And I was like, well, that's an admirable goal too, but I think you're doing well there.
Being more active on social media is one of the things that I need to get better at. But yeah, Twitter's my thing. Like, I like having fun on Twitter. Like, I like, interacting like I'm a normal person. That's kind of my thing on Twitter.
How did you view the name, image, likeness stuff in college? You've seen these athletes making crazy amounts of money.
Oh yeah, that's great. I mean, a lot of these guys are quote like stars, like even before they get to the like professional level. So, and they bring in a lot of money for each school and the NCAA in general. So I think that's great for them to finally be able to reap the benefits of their hard work of being a great player, a great student athlete.
Have you guys come together yet and figured out what songs the rookies are going to dance to yet?
Nah, I'm in year 4, man.
I think you're going up for your next contract. I think you're allowed to have a little bit of input now, right?
Look, I'm just now happy about getting a parking spot in the front.
Few vets leave, a few spots open up. You're not walking a few blocks now.
But it's like if somebody gets signed, and it's like, well, it's like he might be older than me, and then back to the back again.
Do you get to pick out the backpacks, or is that up to Dame and CJ to pick out the backpacks for the Rooks?
Yeah, that's still not up to me.
That's too bad.
Give it time. Yeah. Give it time. Well, hey, man, really appreciate you coming on here. Best of luck this year. We'll definitely circle back. Hopefully we can get you around All-Star break if you aren't competing in a dunk contest, three-point contest, and everything else. We love having you on. It's been crazy watching you grow over the last 3 years. We wish you nothing but the best of luck, and we'll catch up with you next time. All right, man?
All right. Appreciate y'all.
Hey, no problem, buddy. Take care.